In order to develop meaningfully, Hong Kong should develop its soft power and cultural industries. First, to define quality of life, it can be divided into two main genres, fiercely, material life and physical health. Secondly, mental health, environment and hygiene, cultural life. Here, cultural life is one of the factors that hinders quality of life. To measure quality of life in an objective manner, we can use Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The more and higher levels it's fulfilled, it is fine to say that they have a good quality of life.
In fact, there are some problems that will greatly affect the quality of life of Hong Kong people. According to the happiness ranking of selected countries survey that was conducted between 2012 and 2014, Hong Kong ranked 72 while other similar developed countries like Singapore ranked 24 and Japan ranked 46. Such data reflected that many Hong Kong people are not happy. They are not happy maybe because of work. The global ranking of working hours shows that Hong Kong has the longest working hours in the world. The average weekly working hours is 50.1 hours, and it is 6.3 hours more than the country ranked second. Long working hours may place huge stress. According to a survey that was done by the Occupational Safety and Health Council and the Whole Person Education Foundation, a quarter of working persons in Hong Kong show levels of depression and anxiety, 2.5 times above the global average, and around 18% of working persons need psychological treatment. The survey proves that Hong Kong people were under stress and it will definitely affect the quality of life of Hong Kong people. The indicators listed in the definition of quality of life can be achieved through hard power and soft power. However, can these powers help solving the problems? To determine whether these powers can help solving the problems, we first have to understand what hard power and soft power is. Hard power is the use of military and economic means to influence the behavior or interests of other political bodies. This form of political power is often aggressive, coercion, and is most effective when imposed by one political body upon another of lesser military and/or economic power. For economic power, the best way to determine the economic power of a country is from the gross domestic product, in short, GDP of the country. It is a monetary measure of the market value of all final goods and services produced in a period. The World Bank has collected data from different countries and ranked the countries every year. Hong Kong ranked 33 on the list in 2015. The GDP of Hong Kong is $309,929 million of US dollars. It shows that Hong Kong has a strong economy. Since Hong Kong is a special administrative region of the China, and formerly a British Crown colony. As such, it has never had any military force of its own, and defense has always been the responsibilities of the sovereign power. Currently, defense of the territory is the duty of the People's Liberation Army Hong Kong Garrison. Even Hong Kong has a strong economy. It cannot help people to be happy. In fact, Hong Kong people worked so hard in order to build up such strong economy. Moreover, military power has no relation to the related problems. Therefore, improving hard power cannot solve the problems. How about improving soft power? Can it help solving the problems? To determine that, we have to learn about soft power. Soft power is the ability to shape the preferences of others through appeal and attraction. A defining feature of soft power is that it is non-coercive. The currency of soft power is culture, political values, and foreign policies. The Soft Power 30 is a ranking based on a composite index that measures the resources that determine a country's soft power. It uses data collected from 7 areas in order to form soft power indexes. They are digital, culture, enterprises, engagement, education, government, and polling. In the Soft Power 30, most of the developed countries, for example United States, United Kingdom and Japan, enter the list. However, Hong Kong is not listed in the ranking. It shows that the soft power in Hong Kong is relatively weak when comparing to other developed countries. Soft power can be helpful in solving the problems. A among different kind of soft power. Improving cultural industries can help to solve the problems. Why improving cultural industries can help solving the problems? Since most of the cultural industries are leisure activities. Therefore, improving development in cultural industries can help Hong Kong people to become happier and help reducing their stress. However, according to the Hong Kong Quality of Life Index that was conducted by Chinese University of Hong Kong in 2014, culture and leisure sub-index is relatively low when compared to other sub-index. Such data shows that the cultural development is not flourished in Hong Kong. It also reveals that we have to pay more attention to improve the development of cultural industries in Hong Kong.
In order to develop meaningfully, Hong Kong should develop its soft power and cultural industries. What can we learn from other countries? Singapore, the country that people always make comparison between these two cities. They are both densely populated, have good economic situation, belong to the four Asian tigers. However, with those similarities, there is a huge difference. According to the Quality of Life survey made by Mercer in 2016, Singapore ranked 26th among 230 cities, which is way higher than Hong Kong that ranks 70th. Singapore remains its highest ranking city. What makes it such a big difference? As both the strong power like economic is quite strong in HK and Singapore, what we concern is the soft power, mainly the cultural industries in Singapore, that make these differences between them. Cultural aspect is an important factor that affect quality of life. Heritage has a high historical and cultural values. Conservation of heritage is important for cultural inheritance. As a result, improvement in cultural aspect can enhance quality of life. We can see that Singapore government have done very well in heritage conservation. During the mid-1980s, the Singapore government realized the importance of heritage conservation. The government policy then changed from the early preoccupation with just demolish and build to incorporate heritage conservation in the urban planning policy. Singapore has done very well in heritage conservation. There are several points which make Singapore a country that with excellent heritage conservation system. Firstly, the Singapore government has the overriding power in heritage conservation. Declaration of national monuments doesn't require consent from the owners of the buildings. Once the preservation order is in force, without the written consent of the government, that monument cannot be demolished, removed, altered, or renovated or have any addition made except in any urgent situation. Secondly, strict conservation guidelines. The conservation guidelines specify the use of building materials and design characteristics required of the restored buildings in conservation areas. The government also formulate the 3Rs principle, namely the maximum retention, sensitive restoration and careful repair. Under the principle, original structural and architectural elements of the conserved buildings should be retained and restored. Economic incentives. Thirdly, the Singapore government also provides various economic incentives to encourage private entrepreneurs to participate in heritage conservation. For example, the waiver of development charges, exemption from charge, tax relief upon compliance with specific conservation guidelines are adopted. Last but not least, education. The government set up specified department to educate the public the importance of heritage conservation. The National Heritage Board is responsible to promote public awareness, promote appreciation of arts and culture as well as promote spiritual enjoyment. What can Hong Kong learn? Can Singapore's policies applied by Hong Kong? The problems Hong Kong are facing in heritage conservation: opposition from private owners of the heritages, lack of incentives for private owners to preserve heritages, lack of conservation awareness among citizens. The policy of Singapore government to declare the monument without owners' consent is not suitable for Hong Kong. It is difficult for the HK government to have overriding power in heritage conservation, as Singapore and Hong Kong are under two totally different ruling systems. The Singapore government is more autocratic, while Hong Kong is more democratic. So it will be less opposing power, larger decision-making power and easier to implement new policies. As HK is a city that places strong emphasis on human right and freedom, the act of declare a national monument without the consent from the owners of the buildings, Hong Kong citizen will feel their rights are infringed. Strong opposition would be arisen in society. Developers may claim that Hong Kong adopts the free property market system and no government intervention is preferred. But we can learn from the policies of providing incentives to encourage private owners to support heritage conservation. Hong Kong's citizens' lack of incentives to participate in conservation, difficult for government to obtain their consent. The policies of the Singapore government to provide economic incentives to encourage privates of the heritages to participate in the heritage conservation can be learned by Hong Kong. As the developers are money-oriented, under the concept of profit maximization, it is essential to have economic incentives to drive more developers to support conservation. By doing so, Hong Kong can proceed heritage conservation, which is better for cultural inheritance so as to improve cultural inheritance in order to enhance quality of life. South Korea ranked as 22nd at Global Soft Power rank. Government exported its soft power via the popularity of K-pop and TV drama. Worldwide interests in and purchase Korean cultural products. Also, digital innovations drive the growth of business in South Korea like Samsung, LG. South Korea faced the Asian financial crisis in 1997 that brought the heavy financial burden to South Korean government. Due to the incomprehension, financial schemes and short-term economic goals caused the worst economic situation in Korea after the creation of the Asian financial crisis. However, with the help from International Monetary Fund (IMF) and economic restructure, the tension could be relieved and South Korean government started their planning of exporting Korean culture to worldwide in 1998. Government provided various schemes to promote the cultural industries in order to encourage the investment by the private enterprises. Korean government issued a variety of schemes in order to promote cultural industries. Promotion the Korean culture to worldwide via the entertainment products, for example the drama, music, K-pop, and film could increase the economic activities in South Korea. According to the newspaper, South Korea raked in $5 billion from its pop culture exports in 2013. It has set its sights on doubling that by 2017. Especially, South Korea's TV drama exports grew from $8 million in 2001 to $155 million in 2011. The newest drama in Korea, named Scarlet Heart Ryo Moon Lovers, that earns $0.4 million per episode from the exportation to Chinese famous website Youku, which is more than that of the drama of Descendant of the Sun, $0.23 million. Korean Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism has set up at 1990s. It aims to introduce Korean culture to worldwide and improve the national image of Korea. It is also responsible for setting up more than 20 Korean cultural centers around the world. The department also expand the popularity of Korean Wave. Hallyu become famous among the global worldwide are charmed by the Korean cultural products like K-pop and drama. People purchase its art-related products, like CD. To the further, people also buy the made in Korea products, like cosmetic products. According to the Professor Chung in Chinese University of Hong Kong, product placement by a Korean drama can dramatically increase the sales of those products. He stated that more than 10 product placements appeared in a TV drama and costed around $35 million. How Hong Kong can develop its soft power is same as South Korea. As we consult from the example from South Korea, Hong Kong government should maintain a competitive market of the cultural industries. In Korea, many broadcasting companies create many different topics shows or dramas in order to attract audiences. It's because the attractive and creative shows attract worldwide to enjoy an interest in Korean culture, thus its soft power improve. Therefore, Hong Kong should maintain a competitive market to improve the quality and quantity of Hong Kong's cultural products and improve its soft power. Leisure and Cultural Service Department should improve its quantities and qualities of the activities. Although different cultural events have provided, less Hong Kong residents join those events and relax themselves during the participation. Department can launch more promotion activities to attract residents to join the activities. Hong Kong may not develop Hong Kong Wave in a short period of time because lack of government financial and materials supports to the new broadcasting companies. Also, Hong Kong entertainment business may not have enough resources to develop the comprehensive training professional system.
Discussing the music industry of both HK and US.
US is popular with its pop music culture. For instance, US has great influence on YouTube, Billboard Top 100 and with her Broadway musicals. Needless to say, US is achieving great success in music industry, due to its emphasis in multicultural music education and the government funding on music industry. While for HK, there is always a huge variety of music available due to its free commercial market. HK locally is famous for its Cantopop and Cantonese opera. However, there are several disadvantages that kept HK music industry from boosting, such as its monoculture and the fact that other Asian countries have caught up with HK. Having seen that US is that successful in music industry, let's discuss how HK can learn from her. Government can start with education, for instance, to mingle theoretical production and music production. Government funding for exchanges in university in the music field can also help bring HK music industry back to prosperity. Let's explore more into the movie industry of both HK and US to eventually discuss how HK can learn from US. HK movie industry is comparatively less competitive than US, as Hollywood has always been the dominance in the movie industry. No matter it is the number of screens shown or the box office, US is always better than HK in these fields. In movie industry, Walt Disney gains a globally high reputation which makes US top the box office annually with her blockbusters. Moreover, US movies started to invade Asian markets in early years and paved her way to succeed in Hollywood business. And for HK, its film has distinctive identity which provides some edges for HK in the global movie industry. Not to mention that HK action movies have a huge influence in the world with its long-developed reputation which leads to cult following by the globe. Many of the action movies are well known overseas, which made HK a successful exporter of these action films. However, the prestige and prosperity of HK movie scenes last only for a short period of time and ended by 1990s. Rampant video piracy took place and the decline of movie industry started with a huge drop of total sales of movie tickets. It is known as the free-fall period with overproduction of films and lowering of the quality of films. In order to chase back the glory days of HK movie industry, some policies can be implemented with the model of US and movie field. Intellectual property rights and government funding can encourage film developing. Also, by setting up more arts school, theater school and sending university student to exchange in US overseas theater-related institutions can also help solve the lack of talent problem in HK movie field.